Okay, here we go. Leaving the tunnel behind. Passing through the remnants of the rock cut here before we exit it. So, as we get into this straight stretch here, I did want to mention there is a very famous photograph of this tunnel. I think it's the only really historical one we have of the tunnel. It was taken in 1909, so just shortly after the line opened, and the photograph is taken right up on top of a rock cut that's coming up right there. So it's looking back this way, so it's looking back towards the western portal of the tunnel, and there's quite the stark difference. So this embankment is not here. This is all trestle work, right? So this was filled in later on. We know there was a lot of work that was done at various periods. For example, there was some work done around 1910, 1911, 1912. And then there was some work done during the Canadian government railway days, and then during the CN days. So I'm not quite sure when this was filled in. Probably a lot of the fill came from the Donagh pit, and Donagh was located just to the east near Donagh station. So again, this is all trestle work. It's all cleared out. Like basically the trees are all cut back for quite a distance. You can see the telegraph poles. Again, there wouldn't have been this much vegetation when the line was still running, but probably not as much as cut back as much as there was in 1909 when the line first opened. And so again, this was all filled in at some point. So when we get to this rock cut here, maybe what I'll do is I'll show you the clip we filmed a couple weeks ago, because you probably would have been able to see the tunnel a little bit better. It's hard to see the tunnel to begin with all the vegetation that's grown in, but with the sun today, we would basically be looking right back into the sun. So that's not particularly helpful. Oh, I'm friggin' tired. 27 kilometers today, and we're coming up to 19 right now. Oy. Okay, so if I've got a little clip where we talk about the tunnel, I'll show that to you. But then we also have the video we took of the rock cut. That's much better than we'll get today. So the picture was probably taken right up on the top of this rock cut here, just right up here. Where's that picture was taken, looking back towards the tunnel. And so the tunnel is just right over there that way, right? It's, I don't know how well you can see it on the, camera. All right, so this is another one of these large rock cuts that's in the area. We're just, again, just immediately west of the Flett Tunnel. So this is quite large, particularly on the north side. Again, you can see the very irregular shape of the side walls of the cut. So here, we're probably, that's got to be pushing 30 feet up there. Easily. At least 25. That's quite large. Not as high on this side, not as high as on the south side. But again, just the amount of work that would have been necessary to blast this amount of rock out. Again, you can see here how high the sides of the cut are. Would have made for a very beautiful rail line. I know there's still some people around that used to work on this line, both as section crews and as locomotive crews. So they probably had a little bit of an idea of
or maybe a good idea of what it was like. But I always think back to, you know, the old days, right? So going back to the early days of the line, the steam locomotives coming through here, you know, everything's just been done. It's all brand new. You don't have as much vegetation. It's a lot more wide open. So again, it would have had a very, very different feel. It's beautiful nonetheless. You can see how gorgeous it is with all the fall colors and you know, the changing colors of the leaves. Okay, so we'll continue working our way west here.
Okay, here we go. Leaving the rock cut behind. Gonna look funny with these different splices of video. Sunny day today, or mostly sunny. Kind of a lot of the high cloud has disappeared. That's why it's gotten a little brighter out. And then the cloudiness of the videos of the rock cuts. Okay, we're up on another big tall embankment here. I'm going to zip you ahead till we get to the next rock cut. Okay, next rock cut. So we'll use the old footage here.
Okay, here we go through this cut. So this is again another one of these larger rock cuts in the area. Again, you can see that very irregular shape of the side walls of the cut. Again, probably based on a lot of different things, right? The type of rock and the structure of the rock, and again, a lot of the primitive tools and methods they used to construct, and so you ended up with these very kind of jagged walls. This side looks pretty flat here, but you can see some of the other sides. It's very irregular compared to what you would see today. The height of the cut here, we're probably, I don't know, we've got to be maybe 17, 18 feet. Here it goes even higher. So you can see the top part up there, that's got to be 25 feet, if not more. You can see now that some of the leaves have come down, you can see everything a little bit better. And with the cloud today, there's not the contrast between the light and the dark. So here again, this is probably a good 20 feet high. So here the cut starts to come to an end. And then we'll continue on to the west.
Alrighty, leaving the rock cut behind. Last time I was here, I saw this marking tape here. It's on both sides of there. I don't know what they're trying to show here. I think I looked and didn't see anything down there. Okay, so we're coming up to our next feature, and this is a really neat one. Obviously the tunnel's a pretty neat one, but this additionally is one because I think there's only 2 of these on the line. So I imagine that this was once again a big trestle. We're pretty high up. When we get to the feature, which is actually a water feature, you're gonna see how high we are. I think I counted, I looked at it, it said about 60 feet down at least, maybe more. And again, this is very unusual. As far as I know, there was only 2 of these that were done on the line. They were done around the early days of CN, so round about 1919 or so. Kind of coincided with the construction of another big bridge, concrete bridge that was done at Strawberry Creek. So it's coming up just right here, right below us, and so we'll stop this segment here, and then we'll pick up the next segment with the with this very neat little tunnel that we're going to go take a look at.